Seltzer Time.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Seltzer Time podcast. It's your boy Ricky. I'm freshly showered, hence the hair not being, full of stuff or a hat on. I don't know why I did that.
What are you trying to say? I showered today.
No, I don't know why I did that.
I showered today. Yeah, I'm wearing sweatpants. Yeah, I probably smell like boogers and farts, but it's okay. I showered today.
I don't know why I did that in the middle of the fucking intro because I forgot what the rest of it was. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Seltzer Time podcast. It's your boy Ricky, aka Dick Chuck. Oh my God, aka the man behind the can at Seltzer Time Official. Here as always with my conversation accomplice, the man with the hunch about. I can't fuck it.
The hand with a munch about Worcester, Travis. You know, you're just making me feel good because I flubbed the start of the interview that these guys are about to hear, and you're just, you're making me feel good about doing it.
I had fucking 60% of a beer, and apparently I don't know how to talk anymore. What's up?
Chilling. You clean motherfucker. This week on the show, we are talking to Brendan Sargent, writer, comedian, and former Jeopardy contestant / winner.
Also known as Katie Couric's best friend.
Yeah, apparently she's holding out on us and has some photo. Yeah, so we came across Brendan through social media.
Imagine if we just cut the episode there. Katie Couric has a photo. That was it. We don't even play the interview. We just
I was like, I'm cool with it. You tell me what I gotta do.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, continue what you're doing. I'm gonna shut up.
Let's just go to the interview. So the kids are doing right.
I love it. I don't know. Maybe
we're talking about TikTok, people.
Good point.
What is cracking, Fizzle Fiends? This week on the show, we are talking to Brendan Sargent, writer, comedian, and former Jeopardy contestant. Brendan, thank you for joining the show, man. Thank you for having, or what? Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having
me. It's so good. It's so good to have you both. And
yeah, this is your show now.
Thanks so much for coming on. Yeah, no problem at all. I'm glad we got that out of the way right off the bat. So tell me, guys, what
these late day recording sessions get me all fucked up, and it's like at the end of the day, I'm all like, just burnt out from Zoom. So yeah,
no, thanks for having me.
So you're a former Worcesterite, currently out in LA.
Yeah.
What are you looking to make your career in writing and comedy out there? Is it just kind of where you ended up?
Yeah, I paused there for a second because it felt like I was supposed to say like I'm always a Worcesterite, and it looked like you were maybe giving me a second to throw that in there. So let me just say for the record, once a Worcesterite, always a Worcesterite. I moved out here 5 years ago with my now wife, and I kind of wanted to just be near it and kind of like experience it in a variety of different ways, which is maybe just an excuse for like someone whose career hasn't taken off yet. But that is kind of how I approached it. I was like, I wanted to move to LA regardless. And I've gotten the chance to, just by virtue of being out here, like do some commercials and do this short film that I wrote and do a bunch of stand-up and improv and stuff. And not that you can't do that in Boston, which is where I was before this, but it's just a lot easier out here. It's like a lot easier to coordinate, and there's a lot more resources. So yeah, that's been the move. And then trying to get back into comedy. I had no interest in doing comedy over the pandemic. I don't think I said a single funny thing for like 13 months, but now that things are opening back up, hopefully getting back into stand-up and stuff.
It's been super interesting to see what comedians, like, not necessarily thrive, because won't say anybody thrived on the Zoom-based comedy, but there were some comedians that kind of their acts or their sets lent themselves more to that type of setup. Even some of the comedians that I'm friends with here in the city have kind of used to Twitch to look to have some type of interaction with an audience. But I can completely understand about just talking to a void and not knowing if you're landing.
Yeah. I think that, though, I don't know how to say this. I think those people are probably better comedians than I am. I think that's like the easiest way to put it, because you need that kind of like tenacity and that kind of spirit of like, I'm actually not really doing this for the audience. I'm doing it to like hear how this shit works. And I do like to do that, but I can't survive telling jokes without hearing people laugh. I feel like I would explode. So I have nothing but respect for the people who manage to like do that and stay fresh and keep working on stuff. It just was not, it's never going to happen for me.
I completely understand. And like dudes like our friends, the Lonely Man's podcast, 3 comedians that just moved down to Austin following the scene, like they mostly went down there because they were still having in-person shows and they were already rolling back some of that stuff. And they were itching to get back on stage. I can only imagine what that must feel like.
Yeah, it's cool. I miss a lot of it. And it was definitely one of those things where I had taken so much of it for granted. Like I had like kind of stopped going to open mics. I had stopped doing shows just because of like the hassle of it. I wasn't really like grinding at all. Not really much of a grinder. But now all I can think is like, damn, like what you don't know what you guys will have gone. So.
If you guys just said anything to me, I did not hear you. My internet froze.
It's all good.
Okay,
Brendan's been killing it. We're learning about Brendan. So have you done, like, do you have shows planned out? Like, I mean, I could totally feel like, oh man, I should have took that opportunity when I had it. But now that you have, like, are things rolling back? Can you see open mics available?
Yeah. There's a bunch. I have made a commitment to go to an open mic this week. I have I'm really lucky because I have some friends who have shows, and they're like small shows like here and there in LA. And if I really wanted to, I think they would put me up because we're friends, which is like shitty and isn't how it should work. But I am funny, so it's okay. But it's not okay when people do that who aren't funny. But no, I don't. I actually, to be honest with you, don't feel totally comfortable going up and doing a show because it's been so long since I've done stand up. And I feel like if I did bomb, I would rather bomb on an open mic than bomb on a friend's show. Yeah. Because the friend kind of like, did a favor for me. So I'm hoping to like shake a little rust off and try out some new material, which was also a problem for a while. I couldn't write anything new, but then I was on Jeopardy, and I feel like that is at least an interesting enough premise to like get some jokes out for. So I've written a little bit about that whole experience because it was kind of a trip.
There you go. All right. Well, I mean, that's a hell of a segue. We got to take it. So
you guys handed this podcast over to me as soon as we got here. So I'm just trying to,
that's a good point.
Trying to let it flow.
So you mentioned Jeopardy. How the fuck does somebody get on Jeopardy?
Yeah, it's a good question. First, you have to go about 20 years without having sex with someone. I don't know. It's been a long process. Like I've been nuts about trivia since I was a little kid and watched Jeopardy every night with my parents. Like everybody does, right? Like, or like so many people do. And then I don't know. I just, that never went away, that like the kind of trivia curiosity. And then when I I was a high school teacher right out of college, and I tried out for like the teacher. Well, I tried out for Jeopardy, but they also put you in the teacher's tournament pool or whatever. And I was like really feeling myself, and I got all the way to the audition twice, didn't get on, which in retrospect is great because I would have been embarrassed, I think, if I'd gotten on there. Knowing now how much I had to study to even do as well as I did, not good. But yeah, and then I just kept every year take the test, couple auditions here and there, and then I took it over break and did a Zoom audition, and then they called me. They actually called me. I've told this story before, but they called me when I was in Worcester, which is very cool. I was home for my parents' 40th anniversary. I did the whole like quarantine, 2 weeks, like safe as possible thing. And then my sister came to pick me up from my quarantine, and I found out while I was in the car with her, which was very cool. Awesome. Yeah. And then I was off. And it was cool as hell.
That's rad. So did they I guess having you on the show, did you have to quarantine to go on there? Was it a whole different process?
I think
I don't know what the Jeopardy process is like without COVID.
Yeah. I guess I don't either. If you're a local, I had tried out from Boston, and I know that you pay for your own flight, but if you have to stay, they'll pay for that or something like that.
Okay.
I don't quite remember, but anyway, it didn't matter because I was a local, so I was able to go to the studio the day before and take a test,
that's cool.
and then show up. And then they were incredible. Their protocol, how spaced out everybody was, how seriously people took it. I mean, it felt like being at camp. Every time you stepped out of line or you were in a part, there was somebody being hey, not yelling at you or anything, but just kind of being hey, you gotta do it exactly how we're asking you to do it.
Compliance officer.
And I don't know that I don't know that they've had any cases and the show's gone on. And, so, it's obviously working for them. I mean, I don't know how, we don't have to get into whether game shows are an essential thing that we need to risk people's lives for, but I got to be on Jeopardy, so I'm not complaining.
Jeopardy is definitely something you risk your life for. And it's yeah, I think a lot of people would say you know what, Jeopardy is one of the, on the Mount Rushmore of normalcy is it's 7:00 or 7:30. I watch Jeopardy, Alex is on, and I go to bed and whatever. I understand people's desire to keep it going. And Trebek apparently was very adamant about, getting everything safe and then getting back to work and doing it because the people needed it. And yeah, it's cool. I'm glad. Oh yeah. So you've taken your Jeopardy fame and moved it over to TikTok to talk about beer, which is probably the greatest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah. I got a question about Pabst. It was a pretty easy question. It wasn't anything blown away or anything, but, and they tweeted about it. And I use Twitter. I don't often engage with brands or anything, but I was I should get into it with them or whatever. And we had a back and forth, and they sent me 4 12-packs of PBR. And I was like, this is so fucking cool. This is really, obviously, I was fully aware, this is 15 minutes of fame. I'm not delusional about that, but this is still pretty fucking cool. And it, and so I tweeted at them about it, and it got they retweeted it, and I was like, surely I can do something fun with this, right? I don't need anything crazy, and I'm not trying to soak the teat of suckle on the teat of fame here, but I have been sort of looking for an excuse to start doing comedy again, or doing something funny, or producing something silly, silly content. And this kind of fell into my lap. So yeah, I made a TikTok, which is not something I would say 2 months before that, I would have said never, 100% never, not interested, no interest in TikTok. And here we are.
That's awesome. So
mild TikTok thing.
You didn't have TikTok prior to the Pabst thing, right?
No. I thought of this. It was actually two of my buddies, Jacob and Joe. If I don't know if they would listen to this podcast.
They're better if they're good friends.
I would hope they would, and I'm not going to tell them I'm shouting them out, so I'll know if they listen to it or not.
Perfect.
I was kind of just playing. So I should start. My friend Jacob is actually kind of famous on TikTok. He started doing these very, very funny political satire videos where it's him back and forth, and he's very, very funny. We met in an improv class, and he's a great actor too, and so the videos just work really well, and they're really, really smart. And so I wanted to pick his brain about the format because I wasn't familiar with it, and just sort of here's what I'm thinking. PBR is an old brand. It has a ton of history. There's a ton of trivia there. Could I do some PBR trivia stuff? And we kind of workshopped it, the three of us, over this text thread. And then I sort of incorporated some video editing stuff that my buddy Joel had used on our web series that we made. We had this improvised web series called Dear John, where we go into people's bathrooms and give them ratings, and it's very quick. It's like 4-minute episodes. So like a similar thing, where, you know, quick cuts, quick crafts.
I've ever heard.
Thank you. I actually think it's like one of the funniest ideas, and it's like an amazing show, but it has no views. So we're working on making a season 2, and hopefully, having like people who have like somewhat of a following on it. Which we did for season 1, but we're going to try to like keep the train rolling. But anyway, he is this brilliant filmmaker and this hilarious dude too. And his edits to the episode were always like very quick and silly. And so anyway, I don't know. So I put those two together and fucking figured out how to use TikTok, which took as much time as all that other stuff I just described. And people seem to like it.
That's rad.
It's fascinating what sticks and how like in a cut that you can be incredibly niche. Like we had our buddy Jimmy on, and Jimmy's a custodian, and he's on custodian TikTok doing these like very like talking about brown paper towels, but just getting thousands upon thousands of views because it's just relevant to a lot of people in this one very particular area.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's very interesting. Beer talk, or whatever people are calling it. It's also very interesting, and I know that we just talked about this off mic, so I don't know why I'm bringing it up, but a lot of Trump supporters, like avid Trump supporters, started like following me and engaging, which I was like, yeah, that makes sense, right? Like that kind of tracks. I'm not doing anything particularly like liberally in my videos, so they would have no way of knowing how like kind of flagrantly liberal I am in my day-to-day life. So I don't know. That was just sort of interesting. I guess like you were saying earlier, like I guess I'm glad that like it appeals to people who I disagree with so fundamentally. Yeah. I don't know if I should be glad about that, but it kind of makes me feel good. It's a little conflicting.
We have this guy who follows our Twitter. Our Twitter's not, it's like I'm trying to get active as much as possible on it. I'm very active on my personal Twitter, but like the Seltzer Time Twitter, I kind of like abandon here and there. But whenever we post anything that's even remotely political, there's this one guy who he's definitely from like the Worcester area, but he has like 48 followers, and I don't even know if his like he probably has like a fake avatar, but he always comments on it. Like I'll post anything. It doesn't even matter what it is. Like the last week I watched a like Let's End Hunger talk between Jim McGovern and Tom Colicchio. And this guy was like, it's fucking bullshit. This country doesn't have a hunger problem. Obesity. Fuck Jim McGovern. I was like, what, dude, what? Like, but like I'll comment back or like post a GIF back or anything, and he won't interact with anything else we do. He just has to get his little jab in. And it's only for political stuff. Like I want him to get mad at me for being like, I like drinking seltzer. I want him to be like, what? This is a liberal hoax. But he doesn't. It's sad.
That is wild. I've been telling my dad to leave you guys alone. I'm so sorry about that, but he loves Twitter and he loves getting under people's skin. He's a free thinker. So, I don't understand the compulsion to do that, but I guess, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I don't understand. So.
That's the beauty of that platform, though. You can be an unknown troll, like an anonymous troll, and there's a damn good chance that whoever this person is, we know them, and they may not even be the person that we think they are. They just might be somebody that we've irritated at some point, and they have now made it a point to every time that's whatever. Anyway, regardless, TikTok. I too felt the same way about TikTok, where I was like, what the fuck is this platform? I'm not going to waste my time. Why do I want to hang out with the children? But I have learned so much from this stupid app, and I am infatuated to see all the different creators and the different ways they can use it to get their voice out, whether it be music or comedy or writing or, political movements, social equity. Like there's so much fantastic information on this app, and I don't know. I'm almost embarrassed with how much I don't spend on other apps versus this one. Like as a designer, you'd think I'd spend a lot more time or give a shit more about my Instagram, but I would much rather just escape for 10 minutes on the toilet watching TikToks than flip through Instagram. Do you find the same way?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I had the exact same experience. I first downloaded. I think it's really like their algorithm is something to behold, because I think that the first time I downloaded, I spent a little bit of time on it. And I was like, I don't get it. I'm not there. But then once it starts to figure you out, which the way I'm talking about this sounds like a dystopian like AI
it absolutely is.
movie. But once it starts to learn me, it gives me what I want, and that makes me feel good. And that's social media, right? Like it and it is really interesting because there is such an eclectic like variety of content on there. Like there is a ton of garbage, and I keep going through this roller coaster of like, there's so much garbage, and there's so many people on there like using it, and it's just like making the world worse, and it's dumb, and it's not funny, and there's so many people who think they're funny and they're not, and that drives me crazy. But then I look at like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and they're all like that. Like they all have a huge population of people who I wish weren't on it. So it's really not any different. The only difference is with TikTok, I feel like there's a higher amount of people who are there to like make something or like put something into the world that is useful, even if it is really vain, which I think a lot of it is like irritatingly vain. Although, I mean, my whole thing is like 10 minutes of just my face. So I can't really talk, but the vanity for vanity's sake part of it like bugs me, but I don't know. It's all social media. I think like the like helpful life hack stuff I think is really cool. I think there's a lot of like, I feel like there's a lot of really amazing singers on TikTok that I find myself just like listening to. And I don't know, maybe those people would no one ever hear them sing if it wasn't for TikTok. And I think that's pretty cool.
I'm finding drummers, and I'm finding like, I just found a woman yesterday that's playing on her kids' toys and a couch. I think her handle's like Couch Rocker or something. And she's fucking jamming, man. And she's clearly a mom that knows how to play, but doesn't have like a full kit. And she plays the opportunities she has, and she beats the shit out of her heads as she has them.
That's awesome.
It's in that like evening of the playing field where we're bringing attention to all these different creators that I find so enchanting.
Yeah. I like I agree. Like I got TikTok a long time ago, but I'm not good at it at all. Like I'm so disgustingly bad at it. It's funny now having it, for the last year really explode. And every time I go on Instagram, somebody has posted in their story a TikTok of something that I saw like 6 months ago, but like, it's like whatever that account's, new video is. I'm like, oh, and like part of me is like, you know what? They fucking made it. Like, I'm really happy for that person. Like, even though they just one random kid in Worcester's Instagram story. Just like,
it's all, I don't really use Reddit anymore. I don't know why. I think I just deleted the app and it actually had its intended result, which is that I don't want to use it anymore.
I never really got
now that I'm talking about it, I'll probably want to go use it. But I lose a decent amount of time there. I can, but then at some point I'm like, if I get like two, I have a pretty short leash. I'll be honest. If I get like two bad ones in a row or three that I like really don't like in a row, I'm like, I need a break. The algorithm needs a break for me, and I need a break from it.
That's a very healthy way to deal with that.
Oh, I assure you, it's not.
Well, the algorithm takes that as a challenge, and it doesn't deliver three bad ones in a row.
Keep in mind, I'm still talking about the algorithm as if it's a real person. So there's nothing healthy about it at all.
Oh, it's not a person, but it's an entity. It's almost like our version of a god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just watch The Mitchells versus the Machines on Netflix. Do you guys watch that?
No, what's that?
I started it with my niece and nephew, but they didn't want to watch it.
Yeah, it's great. It's I think it's the same animators as Into the Spider-Verse, or the same animation team. So it's got a really cool, interesting look, and it's all about AI taking over the world. So it's just like family on a road trip that has to fight it. It's good. It's I like it.
That's awesome.
So there's a little bit about the algorithm though I want to touch on just to get your take. Because I feel like there's a certain point where we all fear it, but it's doing exactly what we want it to do, and it's to make our lives easier and to simplify things and make it easier to find the things we look for. And we all, at a certain point, want a Wallace and Gromit style life where we can just walk out of our bed and have everything taken care of us, for us as we move about our house. And essentially, that's what these machines are doing, is they're learning about us and learning new ways to help facilitate our lives. And I wonder, where's the balance? Like, at what point do we give up? I don't know. It could be just a stoner thought at this point, but it's interesting. We fear it, but we also want their assistance.
Yeah, I think I was imagining that the dad from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and that was his thing too, wasn't it? Like, you go down and breakfast would just start, and it's like, that is the fucking life.
My mom brings up that she wants Rosie. She wants Rosie from the Jetsons, and I'm like, that's the same shit.
Yeah,
it's exactly right. And they will kill us.
absolutely.
So I guess part of me is like, I think we're probably past the point where we can think about a balance. I think at this point we're so reliant on it that, I don't know. I was talking about this with my wife, because we're watching this movie, and the premise is like this Siri character, voiced by Olivia Colman, by the way, which is great, sort of becomes obsolete. Like she is sort of like the central tech, and they make a walking, your iPhone can now walk and talk. Like, your iPhone is now like your, whatever, personal assistant. But as soon as that switch is made, the AI, the Siri character, is just like, no, we're shutting it down, taking control of all this, we're killing all the humans. And so I was wondering if the government has like a contingency plan for that. Like, do you think that there's a button somewhere that they go, this will shut down the whole network? A lot of people will die if we do this, right? Like, you can probably assume that if you just like hit a button right now, shut down the internet, the network or whatever, everywhere, like, a lot of people would lose their life. But used in the case of emergency, if there's a robot uprising where way more people would die. What do you think about that question?
I don't think that they ever push that button.
You don't think they would? I think they would push it too early.
No fucking way.
I think they would push it.
If we know anything about the government, they will do it way too late. But also, there's too much money involved in the internet that they just won't push it.
Oh, that's a good point. But does the button exist?
Probably.
That's more my question.
Maybe.
I mean, there's absolutely buttons that end networks, that stop networks.
But shutting all the networks, though.
Probably.
Like, I'm talking like a full kill switch, like a well, maybe not global. Yeah, I guess. Well, no, you can't really do that. I guess like the United States.
You disrupt the servers. I mean, there's hacker ways to do it where you overload everything. There's probably like interior safeties built. There must be. And if there's not, I don't know. It doesn't really fucking matter because as
soon as TikTok goes down, I'm going to kill myself. So.
No, to answer the question, the benefit of the many is always going to outweigh the benefit of the few. And if it means that we have to kill some people to save a lot more people, that's probably the decision they're going to have to make. It won't be done.
Yeah.
It's got fucking dark. What did Katie Couric do to you, man? This is all she talked about in between sets. She's a real nihilist. The second they would say cut, she would just look at one of us and say, "What do you think happens when you die?" And we would go, and then they would go, "All right, we're running it back." No, she's actually really sweet. And there's a selfie of us that she took on her phone that has not seen the light of day, and I think that's really sad. So.
Why the fuck wouldn't she post that?
I don't know. It makes me sad. I emailed her people and everything.
Did you really?
Did her people respond?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There was like, she's like a fucking, her own like conglomerate, Yeah. So she has a team of probably 500 people, but there was something on her website that was like Katie Couric's press team or something. And I was like, hey, I don't know if she still has this, but this was like right after it aired. I might have even done it. No. It's definitely after it aired because she wouldn't have been allowed to do anything with it until it aired. Yeah. And I was hoping like the week of her episode, I was a contestant. Like I would maybe get into that inbox. Somebody would read it. No such luck.
Ugh.
So now I just have to tell people this. And I would say most of them probably don't even believe that it's real, which is the worst part of all.
I don't believe it. Sorry.
Exactly, right?
If you think about it this way, where somewhere right now, Katie Couric is like, I don't want to say at a bar because she's probably not at a bar because of COVID, but she's at like a really fancy dinner party and she's like, oh guys, I hosted Jeopardy and like these were the contestants. And then she's showing you to a bunch of people who don't know you.
That's a great point.
She's bragging about the fact
who knows
she is a selfie with you, which is pretty crazy.
Damn. That is cool.
And it wasn't that you were just on Jeopardy. You won Jeopardy.
I did win. I did win one episode. That was very exciting. That was very exciting, actually. It was a dream come true.
They filmed both your episodes in the same day?
They filmed 5 episodes a day.
Okay.
So you'll notice if somebody wins on a Monday and they go on like a 4-game run, they're probably wearing on Thursday what they wore on Monday because you only bring like 2 or 3 changes of clothes.
Okay.
I don't know why. I always feel compelled to tell people that little fact because it's just interesting to me. I didn't make it that far.
I would wear the same thing every day and just go for like brand consistency. Do they make you change?
Yeah, they would make you change.
I was going to say, there's no way they would let you do that.
Then I would just
kind of like that idea.
I would wear 3 of the same shirt and 3 of the same pants. And I'd be like, they're different. Trust me. I mean, that already is my wardrobe.
I feel like they wouldn't let you.
If that's a fight you want to fight, all the power to you.
My dumb motherfucking ass is never making its way to Jeopardy anyway. I'm lucky if
what
I
do you
get
think
on,
would
like,
be your what would be your go-to category? Like what category pops up on Jeopardy and you're like, I feel like I'm way better than the average person at this category.
Probably something like 90s rock music related would be a thing for me. Although that might not be true.
I'm sure that category's come up.
I started a new job like a couple weeks ago, and we were doing this like team building exercise last week, and it was Jeopardy. And so everybody picked me first. Like, oh, look what the new guy goes. I was like, all right, cool. I'll go with like hit songs or what. There was like a music category, there was a sports category, and there was a bunch that I didn't know. So I went with the music one, and the first question was, this band's 3rd album is highly regarded as the best record of the 80s. And I was like, okay, it's not Prince because we said the word band. But even though like when I think of the 80s, I only think of Prince. Then I was like, okay, it's got to be Van Halen because they came out in that like mid to late 70s. I don't exactly know when the 3rd record came out, but it would have been right around there. And then they were humongous in the 80s. So I went with Van Halen and I was wrong. And it sucks because
did they say who voted on it? Because that kind of matters, right? Did you say Rolling Stone?
Oh, I don't know. It was one of the guys I work with. Like he like pulled out questions himself. I don't know
what was the answer.
Got it.
Fucking answer was The Clash, London Calling, which technically, well, I don't know. I thought it came out in 79. What the fuck do I know? So
if we're talking about pop culture 80s, that's not what I would call the sound of the 80s. I mean, but that was a punk sound, but that wasn't necessarily what was playing on the radios.
No, yeah. They just said the best record of the 80s. Not exactly the sound. But yeah.
Gotcha. All right, Ricky, you want a $1,000 question in the 90s pop/rock category?
Hit 'em.
All right, here we go. In 1992, it was hardly the quote end of the road end quote for this group. Whose hit spent 13.
You didn't answer it like Jeopardy. You have to ask the question.
Who is Boyz II Men?
I'm sorry, sir. You forfeit all your money.
I'm sorry. What was the rest of the question?
Whose hit spent 13 weeks at number 1? But you got it.
Nice.
That is great.
It just goes to show that I know more about Boyz II Men than The Clash, which is fucking probably true, actually.
That's funny the way you worded that, because now it sounds like you're going to go on a quiz time against The Clash about Boyz II Men, and that delights me.
No, I'm going to start a Boyz II Men cover band where we only cover The Clash in the style of Boyz II Men.
Ooh.
Oh, that actually sounds pretty good.
It's gonna be lovely.
Borderline acapella. I could be into this.
It's gonna be lovely.
I don't know what my go-to. It would be some stupid like Adam Sandler 90s movies or something awful that nobody really wants to know about.
That's fine, but that's the nice thing about Jeopardy is that they do have categories like that. Like there's some categories that are like so niche and like, I don't know. That's what makes it fun.
It could be the fact that I'm trying to think of something quick that's stunting my, or the fact that I've been sitting here smoking. But Brendan, it's been really cool talking to you, man. How do people follow you on the internet? How do people find these reviews?
Yeah, I've tried to make it pretty easy. It's just Brendan P. Sargent everywhere. So the tough part is both Brendan and Sargent are very commonly misspelled. So, but I don't feel like spelling it out every time. So yeah, Brendan P. Sargent. Think like the Irish Brendan and not the word Sargent. Like Sargent, like the crayon. Right?
Our listeners can look into the show notes and there'll be a link.
Yeah, that would probably be the best move.
Make it easy for them.
Yeah, and then I have a website called Lucky Guess Trivia. It's like this trivia, online pub trivia thing that I've been doing for the last year or so. So yeah, come find me. Learn more about the history of the Pabst Brewing Company on my TikTok.
Have they reached out to you again after that first like initial drop of giving you beer?
So here's sort of the disappointing, perhaps conclusion to the PBR saga is that they sent me another 36 beers. So I'm up to like 84 beers. I had some friends over, some people like at the house on our patio, whatever. They eventually all got drank. I did not use them all for the episodes, but they were all gone. And then I decided to stop drinking for the month of May. So not really conducive to like drinking 2 PBRs and shooting this episode. I did reach out to them and was kind of like hinting at like, you know, I'm out of it. PBRs or like, you know, like, what, like, you know what I mean? Kind of like, all right, what now? Like, this is a cool idea. Are you guys like into this? Otherwise, like, I'm not going to just keep giving you free PBR advertising forever. Yeah. But I didn't say that, but you know, at some point something's got to give, and I haven't heard from him. So I'll, I don't know if I've put like a couple other TikToks up there. I don't know if maybe I'll switch to something else. Or I don't know, some other history of something. Actually, to be honest with you, don't even really like PBRs.
Nobody.
That's sort of the tragic thing about this. Yeah. So it took the first couple episodes. I did it, and I was like I had like a stomach ache. I was like, I don't like these. And then eventually I kind of got acclimated to them, but I don't miss them. I thought it was so fun to do those episodes, and actually like sneakily an incredibly interesting history of this company, which was also a fun kind of cherry on top. But I certainly don't miss having to drink the beers. Unless, of course, they do want to hire me, in which case you can edit this whole part out.
Yes. Yeah. We'll jump right in. I mean, I go through this with Polar all the time where I'm like, dude, like I drink Polar. We open multiple cans a day on the internet. And then I'll hit a weird space where I'm like, you know what? Fuck them. They've never given a shit. I'm not fucking showing anything. And then one day they're like, we'll like this tweet. I'm like, we're back in. We're going to get fucking hard by Polar.
Exactly. It's exactly what it is, Phil.
Here's one bottle.
See if I can find
they gave us one bottle of seltzer in like, Seltzer Time itself has been doing this for like 3 years. I was doing it for like a couple years before that. And I've never got a single thing from Polar until like 3 months ago.
This is the tease of every time I would post one of those things, I would end up posting them on Instagram because they're not on TikTok.
Yeah.
But I would post them on Instagram, and you can see every once in a while I would just like wink and wave at them, and they kept liking the post. Sorry, this isn't good for audio, but they kept liking the post and not doing anything else. So I would like wave and put some hearts, or like I think I called them a tease at one point, like love you. But they just never responded. And it's like, all right, I'm not gonna do this forever. Like I'm gonna start to feel like a real schmuck.
Because it's just some intern probably, or it's just some like
the kid's probably like 17, and like my like I can't have my self-worth in the hands of like a teenage kid who works for PBR.
Be careful what you say. I mean, if it's underage and you're calling him a tease and giving winky faces at him, like,
oh my God. Yeah, no, sorry. That's a good point. Let's say
He was 41.
that they're definitely in their 20s, and it was weird that I thought a high schooler would intern for a beer company.
that just doesn't make sense anyway. Yeah, they're a beer company.
No,
of course they'd be 21.
I was mostly trying to highlight how easy it is to get under my skin. You can really do it. You can do it at any age. It's very easy to do.
Awesome. Well, Brendan, man, we'll have to crack one next time you come back up this way.
I would love that. Yeah. Hopefully they'll be free, or crack a seltzer. That I would be definitely down for too.
Either way,
we can get our hands
we'll get
on.
something. We'll get something free.
As long as somebody gives it to us for free.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right. Yeah. Nice meeting you guys. Nice talking to you.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, man. Welcome back, us and everybody who's here. Excuse me as I burp. That was a blast. Big thanks to Brendan for coming on. That was fantastic. It was super cool to hear about like the Jeopardy process, the TikTok process, the PBR consumption.
Like what Ricky and I talked about before we started recording, there have been plenty of people that have talked to him about his time on Jeopardy, especially around our community. So we thought it'd be an opportunity to talk about what he's doing now. And kind of like Ricky and I kind of been heavy into TikTok the past few weeks. I'm sure you guys have heard. So it was cool to talk to somebody that has gaining an audience, already worked with a brand, and had 50,000 viewed. Although we didn't get to rub his nose that your cat has more views than he does.
Dude, I mean... She does. She's a little celebrity walking around the house with her nose and tail in the sky.
Even still, like mellow out. You haven't been able to duplicate.
No way. She knows. She's kind of like she's like the cat version of Bad Barbie, or as I call her, Bahabi, because she's got like an H in there in both parts. Where it's like you did one thing completely by accident. Like all she did was lay on the thing that we told her not to lay on, which in Bad Barbie's case was she did a bunch of things she wasn't supposed to do at the age of like 12, went on a trashy daytime talk show and was wildly ignorant and has turned it into a lot of money. And like maybe it hasn't done that, but she turned it into a lot of views on TikTok. It's like last I checked, it was like 1.2, I think, million views.
I don't know who this Bad Barbie person is.
She's the one that's like, catch me outside. How about that?
That's Bad Bobby.
Yeah. She has like a song now. She's like a model, maybe. I don't know. She's something. She like does these every like 2 years she pops up and it's like, huh. And she just won't go away.
17.2 million followers.
Maybe, or a Bad Barbie.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Bad Barbie.
That's amazing.
You can also get on her OnlyFans for $24 a month.
Oh, that's sick. I honestly think I might start one.
Bro.
Like just opening.
Give the internet what they want.
Sexy can openings and I won't even go that high. I won't do $24 a month. You can come on for like 17. I'm giving you guys a motherfucking discount. You promo code
Bubble Up.
Promo code Bubble Up it saves you that much money. It gets you into the Seltzer Time OnlyFans for $17 a month.
Saves you 3 inches.
Thanks
again, Brendan, for coming on the show and talking with us. Definitely go check out his website and all his quiz stuff that he's doing and all the other random TikTok, PBR, cool shit.
Hey, he's killing it. If you have something that you want to give him for free, give it to him because he'll make really funny TikTok videos and that's fantastic.
Or give it to us and we'll make subpar ones. And you could see those at SeltzerTime.com. You could find me at Hunchback Travis.
You can find me at OnlyFans /SeltzerTime, $17 a month, promo code Bubble Up. Or DickChuck77, which could also be an OnlyFans, but it's not. Should I shave my beard on OnlyFans? I want to shave my beard off.
Do it. If you don't actually start this OnlyFans tonight, I'm going to be really just depressed.
I feel like I'm going to have to. Or you can find me at Seltzer Time Official, which is probably where you're already following if you know we're here. But send us $17. That's it. Right? Is that it?
That's it.
Find us online. You
Oh.
can find me at Seltzer. This is what happened. I am not somebody who's built to like improv the intro and outro because I can't fucking do it. If I do it, I completely lose track of what I was saying. I don't understand why my brain doesn't work that way. Like I'm not allowed to be like, hey guys, happy Tuesday. I have to be like, no, hey, what's up, you guys? It's your boy. Like I have to do it in a certain way. So follow us.
And as you'll note, this came out on a Wednesday because we are switching shit up again. So we will see you Sunday for the Sunday check-in.
Yeah, we're doing it that way because we figured, it made more sense than dropping like an episode, waiting a day, dropping another episode. So now you get the Hump Day episode, which is one of my least. I didn't even think about that. That's awesome.
Hump Day.
Hump Day is. I had literally like don't understand that sentence, like that saying. Like I know it's like, oh, we made it over the hump. It's Wednesday. It's the middle. Like it's the like.
That's the whole thing. If it's a hill, Wednesday's the climax.
Yeah, like I don't know.
We'll see it on Sunday, guys.
See you guys on Sunday.